Blessings, all of you earth, air, fire, and water signs. These are the most prominent themes, the most important main themes of the week starting August 16th, 2021 for you. I do want to remind everybody that these are actually extracted from the full readings that I have available to those who are a part of either my YouTube membership or my Patreon. So if you want access to those, you can sign up by following the links in the down bar below. And of course, however, as I always say to them, these are the most important themes. These are the most important cards, regardless of money, messages, challenges, and love. This is the most important energy to keep in mind as we go through this week. And of course, never forget to check out your rising or ascendant element as well as your moon element, because they will be giving you additional context as to how a great deal of this week is playing out, right? Your rising sign element's going to tell you a lot more about how a lot of your sun sign element reading is going to show up, and your moon sign element reading is going to be showing you the less prominent side story that is happening separate from the other two. So you can actually have a much more in-depth and specific weekly read than if you just watched your sun. So remember that going forward. And if you do not know how to find out how to get your rising sign or your moon sign, I recommend going to a free astrology chart generator. cafeastrology.com is fine. You know, you don't have to pay for it. And you put in your birth date, time, and location of birth. Location of birth, not location of where you are, location of birth, and get that birth time within a 30-minute approximation, and you will have your sun, moon, and rising sign, so you know how to do this, okay? Anyway, just wanted to make sure I added that in there for you. And of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. Let's get on with this read. All right, Earth signs, let's have a look and see what is going on with your week. And we are starting here with the main theme, the big governing spiritual theme around all areas of your life. And your spiritual theme is the High Priestess reversed. And so this week, you're really going to want to pay attention to where you need to be more discerning when it comes to things that are going on in the present, and maybe even retracing your steps with your past, recent or less recent, when it comes to the realm of guidance, information, sources of information, and any kind of assistance or help you may have actually taken on to boost you or to go to work for you. This can be a week where you may be finding out that you have some situations that have maybe shown up or are showing to be going in not so great a direction because of following misguidance or being misled, or maybe even taking on help or support that is not actually providing help or support at all. The High Priestess reversed could indicate an opportunity for a lot of you as well to be able to reverse course with a lot of things that ultimately are at risk for continuing down a not so great road. So there is encouragement there, you know, but we are going to have to pay attention to what we have going on in our information entourage. Where are our trusted sources, or what have we put our trust in? Why did we put our trust there? And maybe how can we be more objective and more discerning and more careful without letting ourselves be misled or misinformed. Sometimes this is actually purely innocent. This may actually be that we just are trusting somebody because we trust them with other areas of our life, and we find out that they are misinformed themselves. And so, you know, they could be getting misled, and it's this whole, you know, telephone game getting played. And sometimes we find out that, yeah, maybe we're just actually getting bad advice. Sometimes we're just being misled, but we trusted the person for maybe superficial reasons, or we trusted the source superficial reasons, right? Superficial reasons being things like maybe confirmation bias, or are we trusted to appearances, or relatability, or longevity, or numbers, or something like that. And yet at the same time, because we let that speak for the quality of the engagement, the information, the energy, and the work being done, and not the energy, quality, or the work being done speaking for itself, we may actually have found that certain areas of our life are at risk. And so we need to be able to backpedal and backtrack so that we can actually have a good week and beyond. Some of this may actually require you retracing your steps, even going into, again, more of the recent past or further back past, especially if you got sucked in or allowed yourself to believe things or be led or misguided, even by those that could be, they're offering their services to assist people. Sometimes this can show up with, matchmakers or teachers, brokers, realtors, lawyers, even coaches, and guidance that comes in spiritual form. That can happen as well. But what you have to do is be ready with non-judgment. Don't rush to conclusions, and just allow yourself to retrace your steps, and also keep an eye on where we can avoid further problems down the road. I do feel like a lot of this is having to do with the past and not necessarily everything that's coming up now, unless you are already tied in or, connected or hooked on a source of information that may get revealed to be not what you thought it was. But like I said, this is going to be a week for being able to turn all of that to be going in the right direction. So we have to let go of any attachments, any cognitive bias, any superficial, preferences, any kind of relatability concerns, all of that, so that we can actually have a good week and a good, prosperous life going forward. Yes, of course, always be discerning with what could be showing up in the new. But like I said just a moment ago, I feel like a lot of this has more to do with recent history. And for some of you, it may be, coming up this week, but again, recent history for the most part. Blessings and welcome, all of you air signs, sun, moon, and rising, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This is your primary theme of the week starting August 16th, 2021. Now remember, as this is the big main theme, right, what is going on spiritually throughout this week, regardless of what the rest of the cards say, this is what takes the cake. All right, do remember that, because, this will give you the most information about this week that you need. Your spiritual theme, or the big main theme of this week, is the Fool card reversed. And this week is all about redirection, reassessment, and also reevaluation of maybe mentalities, philosophies, approaches, and strategies that you may take when it comes to initiating new chapters of your life. Because the Fool card reverse is showing me a need to bring things back into balance, where you may actually be holding yourself back or preventing yourself from actually being able to achieve the highest good possible, because something keeps getting repeated over and over and over again when it comes to how you evaluate your choices or what you have connected yourself to. Sometimes with the Fool card reversed, we may actually be taking a stance that is overprotective, overly cynical, overly pessimistic, maybe letting a little bit of our history or our track record do too much of the talking, and we may be playing it too safe to accomplish or achieve anything at all. Pay attention to any kind of narratives that you have listened to in recent history that have fortified maybe a sense of brokenness in those kinds of areas, because it may be a time for you to thrive, to actually break out of a pattern, but you have to distance yourself from narratives and I guess by extension, those who purport those narratives of needing to stay in a box or needing to protect oneself or stay overly prudent or to constantly stick with what is familiar and close to home. Because with the Fool card reversed, there can be a need to challenge our fear of what is foreign or what is taking us out of our comfort zone. Because if we are afraid to learn something new, if we are afraid of becoming somebody new, then we are not going to actually achieve the desire we seek, because it requires us to always become new in big ways and in small ways if we are to actually manifest and not just get, but have the reality that we desire. And with the Fool card reversed, you're going to see a lot of situations that you're going to have to evolve your perspective on. Keep an open mind. There may be some things that you have been delaying, that you've been putting off, right? Big shifts, big moves, big decisions, because maybe you are afraid of making the wrong decision. It's really intimidating. It may be something that, once you do it, there's no going back. However, the Fool card reverse is saying you've let this kind of sit long enough. Now, of course, we don't want to do something heedless. We don't want to go in the other direction and make irrational decisions, or hide from our life by pretending to be carefree, haphazard, or, just sort of mindless in the way that we go about our work, right? Because not being mindful, not caring about risks, and not paying attention to what's going on is still technically hiding in a comfort zone. It's just that comfort zone is oblivion. And we don't want to necessarily be that way either. Running blind because you've been comfortable being blind about a subject, or, not aware of what's going on, or you don't want to think about what could happen or what should happen, is also hiding in a different kind of comfort zone. So you're going to want to balance where that may be happening as well. What decisions on the external and from your past have you allowed to make decisions for you that really have nothing to do with what's on your plate right now? And pay attention to the opportunities this week to move on, move up, move out, move ahead. Take a break from spending time in circles and spaces where people mirror back to you, oh, this sucks, oh, I'm in pain, oh, this and that and the other thing, right? Psyching ourselves out with, the worst stories possible. And of course, also taking a break from those that don't care, that are not in control, that are not in their mastery, and just living your life and paying attention to the breakthroughs that are available this week that should not be colored or influenced by either polarity. Blessings and welcome, all of you fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is your main spiritual theme, your main focus for the week starting August 16th, 2021. And remember, regardless of what other cards we look at in the full horoscope, right, money, messages, challenges, and love, this is the card that takes precedent. This is the card that will take the cake in all situations where we are looking at, all right, how is this going to feel? What's this week going to look like? What is the bottom line? And the main theme here is the Five of Wands reversed. Now, with the Five of Wands reversed, what I'm actually getting is that this is a week that is bringing in a tremendous amount of peace and clarity, but also openness, because I'm seeing a lot of interference in your life recede, drop back, take a big step back. Things that have been competing for your time, competing for your attention, investment, availability, are all getting toned down. And with the Five of Wands reversed, this is an opportunity for freedom, to take your leave of things that ultimately were attempting to, or had succeeded in the past, govern or control your movements, your direction, or your availability to actually progress in your own personal journey. And with the Five of Wands reversed, you may be noticing that, yes, this could actually be a very slow week, a very quiet week, but it's also one of a lot of rest and rejuvenation. That being said, we want to be smart about how we handle rest periods and downtime like this, because the Five of Wands reversed is also indicating a lot of opportunities coming up that other people may not be hip to yet, or aware of yet. So we have this downtime and this rejuvenation period, but we want to make sure that we are not necessarily, so greedy with it that we do absolutely nothing, right? We don't want to be like, oh, thank God I need a rest, and then just like have another week of total unproductive nothing. No, with the Five of Wands reversed, this is an opportunity to actually get ahead of a lot of priorities, or get ahead with a lot of your own movements. Start initiating transitions that before required more time and energy than you could afford to give or spend. And you will also be finding that if there have been conflicts or arguments or power struggles going on around certain, plans or intentions that you've laid, directions you want to go, that is all out of your way. The resistance, if there is resistance, is weak at best. That's been down-regulated from a 9 to a 2. And so you want to use this week to make sure that, yes, of course, you are resting, you're restoring your energy, you're rejuvenating, but you are also able to set yourself up for success by being able to secure things that were once out of your reach or were maybe blocked off by some kind of interference coming between you and your desires. Because of the Five of Wands reversed, as I've said a couple of times already, it's all out of the way. Blessings and welcome, all of you water signs, sun, moon, and rising, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This is your main theme, the primary focus and energy of this week. Remember, this card, the spiritual theme card, takes the cake and gives a lot of context as to everything else that is going on. Even when we, start talking about money, messages, challenges, and love, you do not want to forget this card because it's, again, the most important card of the spread. And the theme here is the Six of Cups upright. And this week is going to be a time where you are getting a chance to actually reconnect with things that deeply, resonate with who you truly are, that you may have lost in your past. This is going to be a time for many reconnects, both on a social and deeply personal level. You are going to want to pay attention to what is coming up this week that is giving you a chance to retrieve parts of yourself and maybe even aspects of your future that are very advantageous to you that you could have left in the past. If you have been going through any kind of period in your life where you have been trying to restore aspects of yourself or get back in connection with an old path you were on, or something that was more true to you, or something that really does feel organically like it belongs in a part of your life, the Six of Cups is bringing an opportunity for this to occur. This could show up as well where you are needing to pay attention to things that you have not been as diligent with keeping up as you could. As the Six of Cups upright may also show up as a lot of reminders, a lot of support, and a lot of synchronicities for you. A lot of this is also showing me where you are able to retrieve things that you had to sacrifice once upon a time. Things that maybe you felt like you had to put on the back burner because of more demanding priorities, things you sacrificed maybe to achieve a certain step in maybe your career or your living situation, things you may have sacrificed for family, things you may have sacrificed for love. The Six of Cups is bringing a lot of happy reunions to you during this time, and you're going to want to allow yourself to face and embrace them. Some of this week could be very painful, though, because I'm actually seeing maybe you were made to feel through your own conditioning that you were not supposed to keep them, that in order to be maybe a responsible person, a mature person, or a successful person, you had to follow a script or a different narrative. The Six of Cups upright is not only washing away that crap, but it's actually giving you a chance to restore an aspect of yourself or many aspects of yourself that became fractalized and left in the past.